everybody, I hope you're having a great start to your week. If you're new here, my name is Sammy and I make mommy lifestyle and Leo wife content. I am here today to talk about my pregnancy. I found out almost a year ago exactly that I was pregnant. I found out on February 22nd and just completely changed my whole world. From the time I was a little girl, I just wanted to be a mom. I never had like these huge dreams of like being famous or being super successful. I just really wanted to be a mom, and that's been my whole life's goal. And so now my son is 17 weeks old tomorrow, and he's growing so fast. He'll be 4 months old. Well, when you guys see this, he'll be 4 months old tomorrow. So I am so thankful and so blessed to have him as a part of my life and to have him as my son. My whole world is different and I wouldn't change it for anything. That being said, my pregnancy was extremely difficult, and much like my birth and my postpartum recovery and my breastfeeding journey, all of those will be linked, and I'll have them at the end of the video if you would like to watch those as well. But none of that part, like those parts, were easy for me. Everything about it was fairly difficult physically. I found out I was pregnant I was almost 5 weeks along. I knew really early, and I took a test even before I'd missed like my first period. So I have always been really consistent and know my body pretty well, and so I knew really early on that I knew something was different, and we had been trying, and so I just kind of on a whim, I was like, I'm probably not, but I'll just take a test and see if I'm pregnant, and I was. And so we knew really early on, and the first part of it was just pure exhaustion. Like, I could sleep for hours, and I've had horrible insomnia for most of my life, and so like just being able just to sleep and sleep well was amazing. But I was exhausted all the time. I would go to work and then I would come home and I would just sleep on the couch for hours, and my poor husband, I just slept and slept. And then right around 7 weeks, I had been really sick, and I expected like the typical morning sickness. That wasn't like I just expected. I planned for it. I wasn't really, shocked that I was sick. But I was sick all day, every day, and it finally got to the point where I had not kept anything down in 3 days, and I was extremely dehydrated and wasn't able to eat anything. And I told my husband, I think it's time to go to the doctor. And it was a weekend, and so we had to go to the ER. The urgent care was closed, and my doctor wasn't going to be in for a while. And so we went to the emergency room, and there I was given 3 bags of fluids and a medication to stop the vomiting. And I was diagnosed with hyperemesis, and I did not know anything about hyperemesis at the time. It's hyperemesis gravidarum, or HG. I refer to it as both. I had no idea what that was, and so I proceeded to go home and find out all about it. And I will probably do a video completely separate, completely dedicated to hyperemesis, because it's not a very common diagnosis, and it's extremely difficult and can be life-threatening for both mom and baby. So I was diagnosed with that, and we did not share with our families up until 12 weeks that I was pregnant. And so with hyperemesis, you're just sick basically all day, every day. And I lost a total of 23 pounds in the beginning of my pregnancy because of hyperemesis. And basically your body just thinks that your baby is a foreign entity and just tries to kill it. So it makes you extremely sick. And so up until 12 weeks, like we have this tradition. Every week we go to my husband's parents for dinner, and so for like 6 weeks there, I was just sitting at dinner like dry heaving in my mouth, trying to get through dinner, and I would try and eat because I was like, they're gonna know something's wrong if I don't eat because I love food. And so I would eat, and then I would like run upstairs and throw up and then come back down and try to finish eating. And at one point my mother-in-law asked me, she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm just not that hungry. I just haven't been feeling very good today. I'm good. I think I'm just gonna pass or whatever, you know. So up until 12 weeks we didn't share that we were pregnant, and then we finally told our families and both were ecstatic. My husband, it's his family's first grandbaby, so they were just like over the moon. And then for my parents, it's their 14th grandchild, and so they were also enthusiastic, but maybe less so than my husband's parents. But we told everyone at 12 weeks, and we announced publicly that we were expecting. And so all the way up until about 23 weeks, I was violently sick. I continued to work, but I couldn't really do anything outside of that. I would keep, this is so gross and probably too much information for some of you, but when I was driving to and from work, I would actually keep a McDonald's cup in my cup holder because they're the perfect width to throw up in while you're driving. And just consistently, and I lost a lot of weight. I ended up back in the hospital for fluids and IVs a couple of times, and it was really hard. It was very mentally exhausting, just because every single day was a struggle, like to get out of bed, because I knew I was going to be super sick. I knew I was. And there were some days like I would fight with myself to get out of bed, and thankfully I had a great boss who worked with me and who was very flexible. And there were days that I just could not get out of bed. I mean, I would get out of bed to go throw up, and I would be in the bathroom on the floor for hours just throwing up. And so my pregnancy, that part of it was really difficult. And then I hit about the 23 week mark, and I started to feel a lot better. And so I started being able to actually eat food again. And I didn't realize how much I missed food until I ate food again, real food. And I started to get stronger and gain weight, which was, like most women, you don't want to gain weight, but for me it was like, yes, I'm gaining weight, my baby is healthy. And so I was just like super ecstatic for that. But then it was about I don't remember, I think it was 28 weeks or so. I woke up, I was extremely dizzy, like really bad vertigo, and was super nauseous, which that was nothing new. The nauseousness stayed pretty much throughout my entire pregnancy, but I just quit being so violently ill. But I was really nauseous, and I just felt really horrible. And I woke up my husband, and I was crying, and I was like, something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong. I need to go to the hospital. I need to go now. And so we went to the hospital, and I just felt horrible, and I was so scared that something was wrong with little Oliver. And thankfully nothing was. I had a double ear infection as well as an inner ear infection, and all of that really just threw me off. I forgot though, at 14 weeks we found out we were having a boy, and that was extremely exciting for me personally, because I have six sisters. There's 7 of us total, and I have 3 brothers as well, but there's 7 girls, and so we've pretty much just dominantly had girls. And I thought for sure, like, I'm having a girl, there's no doubt about it. And was so shocked and ecstatic to see that I was having a boy. I was just thrilled beyond words and almost screamed, but I controlled myself. We had a 4D ultrasound, but I controlled myself because my sister and sister-in-law were in the other room waiting to hear what we were having, and I didn't want them to know. I wanted them to be surprised when they came in. So that was really, really exciting, and we were so happy, and just thrilled to be having a boy. We would have been happy either way, but I was just ecstatic that I was having a boy. So fast forward to about, I think it was 34 weeks. I had just had my baby shower, and I was leaving my baby shower. I was on my way home. My car was full of gifts. I was, super happy. We'd had a really good day. And a car pulled out in front of the car in front of me. He had no time to stop, and I smashed like right into the back of him. And being 34 weeks pregnant and being in a car accident is very, very scary. Thankfully everything was okay. We were great. I called my husband. I was in the car. They wanted me to get out, but I said no. I said I'm going to wait till the paramedics get here. I don't want to move. I want them to check me out first. And I felt okay, and I was pretty calm, but I just was like, no, we need to wait. And I called my husband to let him know, and he was on duty at the time, and he actually made it to the accident before the ambulance did. And so he actually ended up just taking me from the scene to the hospital because it was faster since he was in his cruiser. And so they checked me out. They kept me for 6 hours and monitored Oliver's heart rate and everything there. And thank goodness he was okay. I cannot tell you what a relief it was to hear my baby boy's heartbeat and to know that he was okay and everything was all right. And but that was super, super scary. That was a really, really scary time. So then I started, if you watch my birth story, please check it out if you are curious. It's an unconventional one for sure, but it's mine. And I went in at 39 weeks and was induced just 3 days before I was due to high blood pressure. So my pregnancy was very, very difficult, and there were days that I was just like, I would just cry and cry because I just was so sick and I just was having such a hard time. But I was so thankful to be pregnant, and I was so thankful for this tiny little human growing inside of me. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to be pregnant. And I know so many women struggle with infertility and miscarriages and all of those kinds of things that are so difficult. And so I'm super blessed and super thankful that I was able to carry and have my baby boy. And I will do a video all about hyperemesis, and that will be coming up soon, so watch for that. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave all of my social media links below, as well as a few videos that you might want to check out that are based around mommy content. So other than that, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!